not my favorite of all the movies.
I didn't like it at all.
But when you see the characters show up and they're different characters and they're not the actual characters, like that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like when Winston shows up at the end and he's a funeral director, you're like that's the only one that you're missing. You're like, where's Winston? You know, and then all of a sudden he shows up, and then like you see Bill Murray. And I hate to spoil it for anybody that didn't get to see the movie, but he's in it. You're like, oh, this is Bill Murray. Like, now it's going to get great. And then 40 seconds later, he's fired out into the street.
Gone.
Like, that was, like, it was all right. Yeah. It wasn't great. You know what I mean? I think some of it that really messed it up is, like, they flipped literally everything. But, like, so, okay, you have the Ghostbusters females. You have Janine, or whatever her name was a male. Yep. But you never had...
Played by Chris Hemsworth.
But you never had the female equivalent to Rick Moranis, which is a missing piece.
That's true.
It's little things like that. So, like, if they had like a female lead that went with that, like if it more went along the lines and like followed the Ghostbusters a little bit, it would make sense. You know, or if they tied it into the story.
True. But I mean, they also had that point where there were 3 up and coming comedians.
Plus Melissa McCarthy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Up-and-coming comedians. Melissa McCarthy was a comedian as well. She did stand-up for a while.
Well, you still call her a comedian?
Well, I don't find her funny.
But they're not all supposed to be that.
No. Well, that's the thing. They thought, oh, these up-and-coming comedians are going to make a comedic Ghostbusters. And they were going to put their female spin on what this movie was supposed to be. And it was supposed to be an action-adventure, crime-solving, where you're actually in the Ghostbusters movie, not a comedic, making fun of stupid. Like they really made it stupid.
Yeah,
they made it stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't like the movie at all. But to get back on topic, the same thing with Charlie's Angels. It's been remade so many times that people have lost their interest.
They're gonna be confused.
Oh, so confused. Like, I don't care if you're Kristen Stewart. I don't care if you were, Jane John Joe and you were starring in that movie. It was gonna bomb regardless of who was in the starring role.
No, not necessarily. No.
Yes.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that movie was gonna bomb regardless?
What day is it being released?
It was already released.
Charlie's Angels, the new
Yes.
Charlie's.
It was this week.
Yeah, it's already in theaters. It bombed.
Yeah, but see, like, here's my thing.
So in other words, it's gonna be like Gem and the Holograms, pulled out of theaters after 3 days.
Pretty much.
No, but like if you had a character, right? Like if you had Will Smith,
was it out already?
If you had Will Smith play like an ultra bad guy,
what's its numbers for
people
this
would have been
weekend?
like, oh, like I'll go see Will Smith be a bad guy. Like if they had somebody that offset the Angels, where it was like that Spider-Man movie where Michael Keaton's the bad guy. I never knew Michael Keaton was the bad guy in that movie until I saw it on like
The Vulture.
For Spider-Man.
Like when I saw it on like HBO after it was out of theaters.
Yeah.
But if I would have known that Michael Keaton played the bad guy, like I would have went to the movies to see it because that would have dragged me in to see it. Like RoboCop. I would have watched RoboCop if I knew he was
hold
in
on
it,
one
because he was
second.
my actor.
Yeah.
Not to say that the movie would have been great, but
I think it's like 9 million.
You got
now.
You got the weekend numbers.
It made $8 million, a little above $8 million.
A little above $8 million so far since Friday.
That's it.
So today's Monday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days it made $8 million. So in other words, about $1 million a day.
But it's capped. It's already capped.
Yeah, it's already no.
Like after this week, nobody's gonna go see it. I mean, your first week is usually how much they're.
How much did it cost to make it?
That's what I'm saying. I think they're like 9 million under is what the article read for what I seen.
But you know what I'm saying? Though? Like you could have added some star power if it was the right one that made it ultimate.
Could have. Yes, I agree.
You know, just because like almost people want to see that moment where people like Denzel Washington playing a supervillain would have been like, all right, like would have made sense. Or if like almost like
but that's my point though. I mean, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, because Kristen Stewart came out against saying, "Oh, Marvel movies have ruined the cinematic industry as far as people not going to see a female lead cast." It's incorrect. Yeah. They would go and see a female lead cast if it were good.
Well, by the way, it costed $48 million to make Charlie.
It did.
48 to $55 million.
So in other words, if it made $8 million, it's $40 million in the hole right now.
Dude, you're $32 million in the hole.
No, it made 48. They only made 8, so they're $40 million.
$40 million in the hole. Yeah.
$40 million in the hole already.
But I'm trying to think of even a female-led actress that has made a movie. I mean, besides Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. And I can't really think of one that actually made money.
Well, first off, you're completely forgetting about that new movie that just came out with J-Lo that made astronomical money.
Oh, Hustlers.
Made astronomical
Dude,
money.
that was an all-female-led cast.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah. And that made great money.
The big name was J-Lo, and then everyone else is kind of like smaller time, like coming up actresses, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know who else I would say that probably made a lot of money as a lead?
I mean, not only J-Lo is in there, but what's her name? The rapper chick.
Is it Cardi
B? Yeah. Cardi B with the big mouth.
And then what was the one? There's another one. I don't know if it was J-Lo. Like no, I'm sorry. Who was in Dreamgirls? Dreamgirls was kind of a predominantly female cast, and Jennifer Hudson too, right?
Jennifer Hudson,
and
yeah.
Beyonce. You know, and you know what else? I think, and it's an underrated movie when you talk about a majority-led female cast, is the one about the female astronauts or whatever it is. Hidden Figures.
I haven't seen that.
It's like a historical, like about like the women that like it was like an African American group of women that like were the mathematicians or something behind NASA.
To make sure that they got to the moon.
And they never got credit.
Yeah, all right.
And you know what else, dude? I think that like I think the world is missing right now that I think would be an awesome thing to do is like
a female RoboCop.
No, not a female RoboCop. Like a historical piece about like Rosa Parks. Like, because now, like, you can, like, in a movie theater with all the CGI and everything they have, like, you could probably feel, like, when people are screaming at her.
They did a movie about Rosa Parks years and years ago.
No, like a newer adaptation.
A newer adaptation.
Yeah.
Because, like, now, like, you could literally feel, like, with the speakers, the way they are and stuff, like, people screaming at her to get off the bus. Like, just, like, if someone would be able to recreate to where you feel, like, do you ever see, I want to say it's, like, the African American Museum, wherever they... Like, but like they have like
I would like to see a movie about the segregation of the college down in Alabama.
Yeah,
that would be a good historical movie.
Have you guys actually watched? And I don't know, Will, you still there?
Well, yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, did you happen to watch Dolomite on Netflix?
I watched like the first 30 minutes.
Oh, dude, that's a crazy movie.
I got to pick up with it.
Such a good movie. If you guys happen to watch it, if you guys want to watch a good Eddie Murphy movie, like, watch Dolomite.
That's based on a true character.
It is a true character. Yeah. He actually gives homage to him at the end. But I found it really interesting for back in that era, like the segregation of black and white movies. Not necessarily for black actors, white actors, but like they had segregation in the movies, and there were black only theaters, there were white only theaters. But it was crazy to see like what he had to do in order to get that film even shot and ready to be put into any theater.
Yeah. It's an unbelievable story. Yeah. Like it really is. I would like to see all that stuff. Like, I would love to go down. There's a museum where they have like when the 4 or 5 kids are sitting at the table and all these people are behind them screaming at them like, go back to your own. They actually have that cutout somewhere. Yeah. I forget what museum it is. Like, The Rock had the headset on and all these people are screaming because you can put the headset on and experience it. Like, that has to be chilling. Like, I could just thinking about it's got to make me hair, my hair on my arms stand up just thinking about people screaming.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, it's crazy, brother.
And you know what else is like? You got to give a lot of these people credit, like Martin Luther King, right? When he did the protests and stuff, like he knew that at some point in time that this moment was going to be saved forever. Yeah. So when you look at it, like you don't see these people dressed up in baggy pants, like they're dressed in their Sunday best because it doesn't look like they're going after a thug African American. It's like, this is a guy that's going to church.
He looks like a businessman.
Yeah, he's just coming home from church. Like. It's just unbelievable how, like, certain people could, like, think 10, 15, 20, 50 years into the future like
just
that.
Steps ahead.
Yeah, it's unbelievable,
It's crazy.
But so even a Martin Luther King movie at this point would be something neat to just see, like...
There's a movie on her.
The Harriet Tubman movie? Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, the one about, what's her name, I gotta give her credit for, because she really was a gangster. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, even though, like, politics aside, whatever, like, she was told, like, women
She took a lot of crap.
Yeah.
She took a lot of crap before she got into where she is now.
Court.
Like, Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, she had to take a lot of crap before she got there.
And it all starts with Rosa Parks standing up, because Rosa Parks not only stood up for African Americans, but she also stood up for women.
True.
And, like, it's lost because it's a different time, and it's, in the 60s it was the civil rights movement, but she technically helped women too without knowing that she did it,
Yeah.
Stuff like that's crazy. Like, even, like, I find it crazy that the guy who owned Little Caesars was paying Martin Luther King's wife's rent when he died. She was paying the rent and didn't even ask anything. Like, she got robbed or something. He's like, listen, I'll take you out of here and move you somewhere else. Yeah. And never told anybody.
Somewhere safe.
Like, not like, oh, like, hey, this is what I do on the side. Like, don't worry about it. Like, no one needs to know, True. And things like that are gone now. Like, someone, like, if Trump was to help out, and I'm not saying anything against anyone that's, like, rich like him that, like, wants to, would say, like, hey, like, I'm helping out so-and-so's life. Like, he just did it to do it. Yeah. Those people aren't around anymore.
Well, let's end on this. Will, I know you'd be excited to hear this, but John Legend was named the sexiest man alive for 2019.
Who did he pay?
I like that. I love it.
To me, he looks like a grown-up Webster, doesn't he?
If you put a pair of glasses on him, he'd look like an older Steve Urkel almost.
A little bit.
A little bit like...
A little bit, yeah.
Here's my thing.
He's more like Stefan Urkel right now. Then he puts the glasses on. And
You guys are haters. Haters. You're just mad because you're not as sexy as John Legend.
I guess. I mean,
I'm sorry, but I think there's sexier guys out there right now than him.
Yeah, I'm definitely secure with my masculinity.
I think you're sexy, Sparky. 2020.
I think if you folk Fu Manchu'd your handlebars back, you may have made the cover of People 2019's best looking man of the year.
The sexiest man alive.
Sexiest man alive.
What about the guy that played Jon Snow from Game of Thrones? Where did he finish?
I don't know.
Yeah, but see, though, the thing was the guy that played...
Where did he finish?
The guy that
girl's looking at it right now.
The guy that played Jon Snow cannot take your panties off by just playing a couple keys on a piano, okay? So when he can do that, then all of a sudden he becomes the sexiest man alive.
I don't know, but you got people like Chris Hemsworth, Jason Momoa...
Once again, they can't get on that piano and stroke those keys. His stroke game is strong, right, Will?
This is what I want to see.
He's got those golden tones.
They should get the
real strong.
They should get the last 10 guys that are in the voting, put them in a steel cage, and the first one that walks out is the sexiest man alive. I think John Legend would be the last one to walk out every single time.
I think what we should do, right, is we now...
I agree.
We now, just like they
Who
wanted
was number
to
2?
make,
they have the list. What was the list?
Just like they wanted to make Danny DeVito Wolverine, we have to vote someone in that's completely ridiculous for the sexiest man next year.
Sparky.
And then that way people go like, listen, like, we'll take John Legend back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to complain about John Legend anymore because, is
it People or Times 2019 as far as John Legend?
She's looking it up.
I think it's People's Sexiest Man Alive.
See, like, you want to know who would make, like, if, like, Jimmy Carter was voted the sexiest man alive? Like 94.
He's dead, though.
What?
Like,
he's dead.
94 years old, like, with the...
Jimmy Carter died.
Jimmy Carter's still alive.
Oh, he
died?
He's
still alive.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
I thought he died.
I mean, he's got one eye, but he
busted his head.
He busted his head open.
I thought he was dead.
He's still building buildings.
Still...
That dude is still building buildings for Habitat for Humanity.
For people that can't afford homes.
The list is loading. This is going to be interesting.
That's so totally. But, like, that would make my day. like if him and Betty White were voted the sexiest male and female of 2020, like just set the tone already. Like don't jump into 2020 with just a toe or something. You jump into 2020.
Why? How can it be closed?
Because it was a voting thing. You can pick out from like.
Don't they have? Don't. No, they should have the overall list from the top to bottom. They usually do.